show's called, the 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 show's called.
Welcome to Dying Laughing with your hosts, Tim and O.
Hey, welcome to another episode of Dying Laughing. I am one of the hosts. I'm O.
And I am the other host. I'm Tim.
And we make, I don't know what we make, but we're on the podcast together.
We are on a podcast, and we're both wearing hats.
We're both wearing hats.
This is the first time. This is we're breaking new ground.
Breaking new ground. I'm not a real hat wearer. Is that a word? Hat wearer?
Is it a haberdasher?
Haberdasher. I'm not a haberdasher.
I think that's someone who sells hats.
Sell hats?
It used to be, and that's why that term mad as a hatter.
Mad as a hatter.
Because they used to be lined in lead, and those guys would go crazy.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
So that's a thing.
All righty, Whitey.
Learning new things every day and dying laughing.
All the time. So we got a great episode for you today. This is episode 6 from season 2. It's just one of those things where we just decided to get on the mic and start talking.
Yeah, that's pretty much our business model all along. Ready, fire, aim!
So we're going to start out with our first segment of the show, and it is, how you feeling?
I'm doing all right, man. How are you feeling?
I am feeling somewhat under the weather, my good friend.
You seem that. You seem a little off. What's going on, O? No. That's
Cancer. I mean, it might be just the cancer. It could be the chemo. It could be both. Yeah.
How much chemo are you taking a day?
I am taking 5 milligrams.
Okay.
5 milligrams? Yes, 5 milligrams of chemo. Now, I know it sounds small, like a small number.
Well,
but 5 milligrams of sugar is does a lot of detriment to you.
It's kind of like there's no acceptable amount of dog shit in your cookies. Right?
Exactly.
Any is too much.
Right. It's like like the FDA, if I'm not mistaken, they have a certain percentage.
Oh yeah, parts per million of rat crap.
Right, already in there. So
yeah.
we're already, ingesting it anyway.
Right, but I don't think there's a certain percentage of chemo that they allow to get into your candy.
No, I don't think so. This is not something you want to share.
No.
But yeah, I take 5 milligrams daily. It's weird. They only give you 28 days, but they want you to take it daily, which doesn't make any sense at all. There's 30 or 31 days. Maybe they only made the medicine in February.
Maybe.
And that's what they were trying to focus on.
Maybe.
I'm not really sure, but yeah, you get
that is Black History Month. So.
Hold on, wait a minute. Wait a minute, buddy.
You called me Whitey. You opened this door.
Yeah, I did open that door.
But I'm closing it right now.
Yeah, but I'm feeling, this has been a tough week, 2 weeks. Just been tired, and, this is where we're going to go into the episode and talk about it later.
Yeah.
But just dealing with some fatigue stuff, and just not feeling quite myself, my friend.
Yeah.
But it didn't stop me from doing the podcast.
Right.
I've mustered up the energy to get to this point. I'm just not going to take one I'm taking one for the team.
He ate half a chicken salad.
I did. Thank you for sharing that.
Yeah.
But I'm feeling good. Other than that, I'm great.
Other than that, Mrs. Lincoln, how was the play?
Exactly. But it is a situation where, you go through different moments of feeling great, not feeling so great. And, this is what you have to do, the new norm, which continues to become a new norm for the new norm.
Right.
As you live longer, which I definitely love doing. I want to live long.
Oh, for sure, yeah.
So, but how are you feeling? How you feeling?
I'm all right, man. It's been a weird, not bad, just weird couple months. I sell real estate. It's been a weird time to be selling real estate.
It is.
Yeah, so that's been,
people are still buying houses.
People always have to buy a house, right?
Really?
People need to live, right? They need someplace to live.
Mm.
But a lot of people are very content to stay living where they are.
That might be a good idea.
So it's been a weird first quarter. But we're doing okay. It was tough. It was a tough time. But health.
Now, I was going to say, this would be great if somebody was buying a house, but I
Right.
want to know about your health.
Right. If anybody wants to buy a house, I know a guy that can help. If he can't, I probably can. I've been frustrated, and this isn't necessarily a side effect as much as moving the goalposts, right? Like, what I was thinking about this on the way in, like, because I saw an alert, or I got a memory on Facebook that I PR'd a workout called Grace at the gym 9 years ago today, where you do 30 clean and jerks with 135 pounds.
Okay.
And this time I did it in 3 minutes and 11 seconds. And that wasn't even the best time I did it. I did it in 2:56 once.
Clean and jerk sounds...
Clean and jerk. So you start with the weight on the floor, barbell on the floor, pick it up to your shoulders, lock it out overhead.
Okay.
And then back down to the floor.
Okay.
Right?
It
So I
just
did
sounds
that.
like some kind of...
I know. Well, the other Olympic lift is snatch. We had some fun with that.
Yeah.
CrossFit is the only place you can tell a girl nice
this is
snatch
a grown folk show,
and
thank
not
you.
get smacked. Right? So, anyway. So, I was thinking, like, man, like, that was strong. Like, that was a good
Right.
time. That was a competitive time. Like, get 3 minutes and under and doing 30 clean and jerks, that's quick. I don't think I could do one clean and jerk at 135 now.
Right.
Like, and I just, there's a fire in my belly that isn't there anymore. That was, when I was deep into the fitness world and deep into CrossFit, and like, I would go and annihilate myself and look forward to it
Right.
every day.
Yeah, I've seen a picture, and you definitely was a lot more, beefier.
Yeah, I was.
Yeah.
I wasn't going to be a calendar model.
Yeah, you got the mid dad bod
Yeah,
right now.
yeah. I was on the way.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, but I was closer to.
No, I'm talking about now. You have.
Now
yeah.
I'm rocking the dad bod, which
Yeah.
is chicks dig it.
Yeah.
So I mean,
Yeah.
really, the one is the only one I'm worried about.
Yeah, that's all. That's all that matters. One chick.
One chick, and
Yeah.
it is my wife. Just to be clear, that's the one.
Yeah,
I'm
we don't
worried
want to call wife's chick.
about. Well, I don't want to think that my wife, and then there's also this other chick. There's
Yeah,
not.
right, we don't wanna do that.
Just the wife.
That's a whole different show.
That's a whole other show.
Okay, all
We're
right,
not
let's-
talking about that. So I'm frustrated with myself. That fire. I don't know how to get that fire back, and I don't know if it ever will. I don't know if it's just a question of, like Indiana Jones said, right? Like it's not the years, babe. It's the mileage.
Right.
Like
Right.
we put these bodies through a lot
Yes, we do.
in a very short time.
Right.
More stress than most do.
Mm-hmm.
And we thankfully live to tell the tale. But you don't come out, like there's not just, existential angst, there's actual physical angst. Like you don't come out the same person in any way you want to define different, you are.
And I know people tend to. I know people tend to try to imagine themselves going from pre-cancer, what they were like pre-cancer to post-cancer, and it's at some point you have to come to grips with it. Like you have to make peace with it.
Yeah.
And understand. And I'm not saying that's where you're at.
Right.
But I think sometimes you have to make peace with where you're at that time frame.
Right. There's a difference between making peace with things and giving up.
Exactly.
Right? Like I'm not giving up.
Exactly.
But I have to understand where the goalposts are now. I have to redefine what success looks like.
What success looks
And
like.
success doesn't look like sub 3 minute grace ever again. I don't think it does.
Right.
And it used to bug me that I talked to Dr. Raymond, my oncologist, and I tell him this, and he said, well, you're getting older.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not that much older than I was when I was diagnosed. Right? I was diagnosed at 40. I'm 41. I'm not that much older.
Right.
It's not the years.
I think
it's
you
the
just.
mileage.
I'm not quite sure your mathematics are working out.
Well, now I'm older than that, but I was talking.
Oh, you were talking.
when
I was like, whoa, dude.
A year, 2 years after I got better, after I was, cancer free, I still was frustrated that,
Right.
I can't get that drive back again.
Right.
And that makes me a little nervous too, because I'm convinced that a big part of why I did survive was because I was strong. I was healthy. Right? I had a big store of health to draw from. So when I got sick, and I had a large balance in that healthy account. So when I got sick, I could pull a lot out before I overdrew it.
Right.
Right? And this thing snuck up on me the first time. There's no reason that it can't sneak up on me again.
Which is true.
And I'm not as strong as I was.
It's we try to we try to be the person we was pre-cancer, because we're and I'm just speaking. Let me just speak from a personal standpoint. You're when you're going through this situation of your treatment and dealing with all the different things that go along with that. When you finally come out on the other side, you are so eager to try to get back to that,
to some of it,
to that
like,
norm, and you start to recognize that, as you do those things, it's not that simple anymore.
Right. And I think, just because it has a cost doesn't mean there isn't a benefit.
Right.
Like, I'd like to think, and maybe I'm wrong, and I'm sure there's people that will tell me I am, but I'd like to think that I'm a better person overall.
Right.
Right? Maybe not as good of an athlete, but I'm a better human being.
Exactly.
And that's probably, in the long run, better for me.
I think so too.
But I could still be a better human being and also be a better athlete than I am. So I did start something. Like, I started with my friend Joel. I'm doing my patented no meats, no treats diet for a month. We committed to, which is really like, if it had a face or it tastes good, don't eat that. Right? So that's pretty much the basis of the meal plan. And committed to riding our bikes 3 times a week.
Okay.
Right? Not a mileage goal, not a time goal. Just get on my bicycle and do it.
Right.
3 times a week, and let that momentum build on it, and let small gains pile up into big gains.
Yeah, but I also want to make sure that people listening understand that, if you can't get there, that's okay.
Yeah.
It's
right.
not, it's not over. It's not the end of the world. I think sometimes folks develop different hobbies, to replace the ones that they might have been doing before.
Oh yeah.
I know personally from, with my situation and, multiple myeloma patients constantly having to take maintenance therapy. Mm-hmm. You have good moments and you have not so good moments, and then you have to come to grips with that. From a multiple myeloma standpoint, they tell you not to lift over 5 pounds, and I'm like,
right.
And that's,
how do you pick up your milk?
I mean, how do you pick up anything?
Yeah, like,
I mean, some of the mail.
Right. Yeah, like I got more junk mail than that today.
But for me, I work out to stay fit.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm not trying to overdo it, and I'm not suggesting this for multiple myeloma patients, because it is a real thing. You got to understand where you're at in your disease. Certainly speak to your physician if that's something that you choose to do. Mm-hmm. But I do it for the same reason that you explained. I'm trying to stay physically fit to combat the cancer.
Right.
And it doesn't matter what kind of cancer you have. That's the way that's the way it rocks. But
that's how I am.
That's how you are, which was a very, 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 very long. But we want to lead into the segment. The second? Did I say second?
I think you said segment.
The second segment in our show, and it is vital signs. So, I'm going to share some very interesting vital signs with you, my friend.
Cool.
I'm going to read it from the paper. I'm going to read this from the paper so I can do my whole. Mm-hmm. let me
Professional radio.
Yeah, let me get in my character.
Yes.
Excuse me. Did you know?
Nope.
Okay, great. That the naked mole rat.
What kind of mole rat?
Naked mole rats are immune to cancer.
Is it because they're constantly naked?
I don't really think that is the issue, because I think cancer can kind of work past the nakedness.
It probably does. You're right.
This is not naked and afraid. This is more like naked mold.
Okay.
Okay, so the naked mole rats are immune to cancer. Now check this out. The body of this subterranean, that's a big word right there.
Subterranean.
I actually said it correctly too.
You did.
Subterranean African mammal is rich in a substance called, and I have no idea how to pronounce that word.
Hyaluronan.
Hyaluronan.
I think it is hyaluronan.
But you spell it Hyaluronan, which acts as a lubricant in the body and stops cancers from growing.
Lube is good,
Lube is good in some cases.
apparently, in cancer.
I don't know why you're staying on this road of, this is not a triple X show.
You brought it up.
But I'm going to say this discovery, this discovery could lead to treatment for cancer in the future.
Cool.
So sometimes lab rats are good.
Sometimes lab rats are good, and all the time, lube is good. On to more serious news.
Yes.
I'm going to talk about boobs.
Boobs.
Well, breast cancer and CAR T.
Okay.
So, go ahead.
Before you do that,
Yeah.
there's one more fun fact.
Oh, cool. Yeah.
Don't forget that.
I
We're
won't.
talking about vital signs, man. You're jumping all around in the show.
No, there's a part of the vital signs. It was
Okay.
cool.
Oh, okay, go ahead.
No. You do your thing.
No, you do your thing.
Okay. So, well, I mean, we can tie them together real nicely
Okay.
because your thing leads into my thing.
All right, so May is National Cancer Research Month, along with Bladder Cancer Awareness Month, along with Brain Cancer Awareness Month, and also Melanoma and Skin Cancer Awareness Month.
That is a lot of awareness.
It's a lot of awareness.
So aware.
I am woke.
What we need
with
is
cancer.
like Cancer Helpful Month. That'd be much better.
Cancer, get it right, month.
Yeah, right? Like no more Cancer Month.
Yeah.
So Cancer Research Month, part of the research that's been happening, along with the CAR T field, which is always interesting to me, is that they're starting to use CAR T now as kind of a finisher for surgeries on solid tumors.
Yeah.
So one of the things they came up with breast cancer, with triple negative breast cancer, the line between the good skin, the good tissue, and the cancer tissue is very thin.
Very.
And it's hard to tell if you got all of it.
Correct.
Right? So they'll do the surgery, which is usually what, the main
stuff to
the
get it
main
done.
thing is to do the surgery. But then they're also giving these patients CAR T to kind of do the finishing job.
That is amazing.
So it's the beginning process of CAR T being able to be used on solid tumors.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
That is going to be groundbreaking. Uh-oh. He's checking his watch. All right, so we got breast cancer. I'm going to put this down because this is getting on my nerves.
It's crinkling.
It's crinkling, and it's minkling, and making a bunch of other noises. So CAR T at this time frame is sort of like the future.
Yeah, it's the bleeding edge of
Right.
medical technology.
From my understanding, at some point, the ideal, it might not be CAR T, but the ideal is to perfect this therapy and treat all cancers with one therapy. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
If you, I like you to, and I know we've done it before, but just explain to them what CAR T is, since you are
CAR
the
T
CAR T expert.
I don't know if I'm an expert. I'm just a recipient. I'm not only a president.
That makes you an expert.
I'm also a member. So what they do is they extract your T cells. They do a process called apheresis, where they filter your blood through a huge machine and they they spin it around and it makes what they call Neapolitan ice cream.
Okay.
And they put the chocolate vanilla back in, and they take the vanilla and the chocolate and strawberry back, and they take the vanilla and bring it off to California or wherever it goes. There's more facilities now. There's one in Maryland. There's one in Virginia.
Yeah, they're starting to pop up now.
They're popping up, but mine went to California.
Like weed places.
Yeah, kind of. Hopefully, I don't know. So
Could you imagine that? The
No.
day you could drive up to a CAR T place and be like, yeah, I'd like to get a cure for lymphoma. And what do you got back there? What you want? Yeah.
Man, I hope there's never so much cancer that we need that. That would be
No, that's great.
That'd be a horrible problem to have a solution to. So they genetically modify the cells for your particular body. It's a single dose of medicine. So if you and I met in the hospital, we had the same disease, and we got the same treatment, but they got our bags mixed up, we'd both be dead.
Whew.
Right? Mine wouldn't work for you, and yours wouldn't work for me.
Don't want that.
No. So it really is like it's personalized medicine. They make one single dose of this just for you.
That's deep.
And there's a couple log jams in the process. One of them is the time that it takes. Like it takes 3-4 weeks between when they get the cells out and when they can put the cells back in.
And that's my understanding, depending on where you're at. Normally you're in a very bad situation.
You're pretty sick.
Yeah.
You had to have. I think now CAR T is second line, but for a while it was third line. So you had to have at least 2 failed treatments before you're allowed to do it. And if you failed 2 treatments, you're in a world of hurt. And I know people that reached out to me when they were sick, and they got the pheresis, and I went to his funeral. Like, he didn't make it. He didn't make it to getting the stuff back in.
Yeah, that's crazy. And then for multiple myeloma, you got to fail 4.
4.
Different.
So I was wondering about that today. How long are you taking this daily chemo before they say, you know what, this isn't working? Like, what does it look like to have a failed treatment?
So a failed treatment for a multiple myeloma patient would be definitely it starting to progress no matter what.
Okay.
So
you're keeping it at bay, or that's considered successful.
Right. This is, I am in the ideal state for a multiple myeloma patient.
Talk about moving the goalposts.
I mean, like,
this is ideal.
Yeah, this is ideal. I hate to see what worse looks like, but the point is that you have to fail 4 different relapse.
Yeah.
And fail 4 different types of, from my understanding, 4 different types of therapy. Now, I don't want to get into politics and all. Yeah, we don't want to get into the weeds. I'm sure if your money was right or things like that, things would change. But they are making some progress with different organizations that are trying to close that gap from financially and procedures and stuff like that. People have been fighting insurance companies and those type of things for ever since diseases have begun.
Right.
It is big business, and we understand that. Unfortunately, people's lives are at stake. So you really have to be an advocate for yourself all the time. And not even just this, but just an advocate of, what you're feeling. You know your body better than anybody on the planet. You might not know what's wrong, but you know what you're feeling.
Right. If you're not firing on all cylinders.
Yeah. But to answer your question, I've been taking this medicine since February 1st of 2018.
Okay, so it's coming on 6 years, 5.5 years.
5 after my math, 5.
4 years, right? I don't know. I'm not good at math.
5, man.
5 years.
Yeah.
Okay.
I think so. 2018.
A while.
See, 8 plus 5
is 13.
Right.
Right. So 23. Okay. So
yeah, there you go. Stay with me, partner. So that's what's going on with that, and it's not too much more you can do besides stay on that maintenance therapy. Maybe one day, CAR T will be, second in line, or it might surpass the stem cell.
Right.
I don't know, but right now the stem cell is where they're going. As far as multiple myeloma is concerned.
Right.
You do your I don't forgot your VRD. You start off with that. Your VRD treatment. That's your Valcade, your Dex, and Revlimid. D
for Revlimid.
No, D's for Dex.
Oh, okay, yeah.
R's for Revlimid.
R for Revlimid. Yeah. I got you.
And then, normally what you have to do is get to a certain point and get the cancer under control enough to even get the stem cell transplant, so they can extract the cells. And it's similar to what you said, same type of machine, hook you up to, pulling out the good T cells.
Right.
And trying to plant them back inside, so see if the grass will grow nice and clean and fresh. And then after that, you're on maintenance treatment to keep this grass looking nice. So that's pretty much the analogy for that.
Okay.
So with that being said, I died. We're going to a commercial break, and we'll be right back with the topic of today, which is
Sickie Side-Effects.
Sickie Side-Effects. So stay tuned. We'll be right back. Moving fast.
Tim Card is signing up to save lives. Please join us welcoming Tim to our 2023 Central Pennsylvania Visionaries of the Year candidate class. Tim Card is a realtor with Century 21 Home Advisors, a local philanthropist, and the first person to receive CAR T-cell therapy at Penn State Cancer Institute. Tim had a whirlwind of a cancer journey and decided to ride a motorcycle across the United States, sharing his story and advocating for better treatments and medicine for blood cancer patients during his campaign. Follow Tim's adventures through Facebook as he raises funds to bring change.
Oya is a podcaster, a father of 3, and a notable artist in the Delaware hip-hop community. He's currently the co-creator and co-host of the Dying Laughing podcast. Oya is making his second appearance in the Visionary of the Year race and on a mission to use his unique voice to spread the word about blood cancer, his experience, and his struggle just to get to a diagnosis. The doctor explained to him the average lifespan after diagnosis was 5 years and that he just needed to stay alive long enough for the technology to catch up. Well, 5+ years later, he's still fighting because the technology keeps improving. He certainly plans to continue thriving despite having multiple myeloma but can't do it by himself. That's right. We are asking for your help. There's so much truth to the saying every dollar counts, so any amount you can donate goes all to the LLS for research to find a cure. Donate today and be part of the cure.
We are back. Thank you so much for this kind of our sponsor, Bumping Under the Trampolines. Great to have you on board, guys.
Yes, and our other sponsor is Crimpy Cruster's Cream Bogs.
That's right, yeah.
You know, I like that.
And always the fine law firm of Dewey, Cheatham, and Howe.
Yes, and lubricants. But as we stated before, the topic of today's show is Sickie
Side-Effects.
Sickie Side-Effects.
Yeah.
You know, Sickie Side-Effects, what does that mean? That means the side effects that come along with this wonderful world of cancer that we live in.
Right, it's all the fast lawyer speak at the end of the commercials.
Right.
Right, that isn't
Are
endearing.
those lawyers?
The lawyers probably aren't the ones saying it, but I guarantee they're the ones that wrote it.
Well, that's just good copy.
Yeah.
That's a slogan. So, as you notice with most commercials, they always talk about the side effects. I don't know if you noticed this.
Yeah.
But the side effects, they talk about it, and it comes on super
There's
quick.
way more side effects than there is actual symptoms.
Right. I mean, it's like it causes everything you can think of.
Right.
But the person always talks extremely fast.
Right.
But if you're looking at the commercial, it's all this wonderful,
They're happy and they got puppies and they're smiling.
Yeah,
and
but in the
there's-
background, it's like calls, poop, shit,
right,
sticks, runs,
you will
vomiting.
leak out of your anus. That is not lube.
I think we cussed in the show like 3 times.
We did.
And well, that doesn't matter.
Man.
But the point,
I said Uranus. That's a planet.
it is.
That's what I was talking
It
about.
is. Pluto is no longer a planet.
Is it though? I don't know.
That's what they said.
What does he identify as?
The dwarf
I
stuff.
thought Pluto was a dog.
He was once.
Yeah.
But you know, Mickey's not really a mouse. He's something else.
He is something else.
He
At
is
least he wears pants.
He's one of those naked rats.
Donald Duck doesn't wear pants.
Donald Duck does.
No.
Let's get.
Okay,
We're digressing.
so, yeah.
Sickie Side-Effects.
Sickie Side-Effects. So,
I'm going to talk about. I'm going to say. Oh, I'm going to play a game.
okay.
I'm going to say a side effect. You tell me how it affected you.
Okay.
All right. Constipation.
Oh, extraordinarily constipated.
Extraordinary.
Oh my gosh, we had to take the orange poo goo.
Orange poo goo.
The orange poo goo.
That's
It was
wonderful.
Like, it was like Gatorade syrup. And it didn't do anything until all of a sudden it did everything. Like, I don't think this is... Oh. and
It's kind of
and
like
then all the nurses want to watch it happen.
it's like a volcano.
Oh my gosh, it was awful. But yeah, you either... With chemo, you either poop far too much or not nearly enough.
Yeah, that's the balance. That's the juggling act.
Right, yeah. I'd rather just poop the normal amount.
I just like to stay right in the center.
Stay regular.
Just stay regular.
Yeah.
I don't want all those extra, the water,
No.
the tightness.
Oof. Oh,
Yeah.
it hurts so bad.
And this is an exit only type of situation, and it's not supposed to be.
But some exit would be good. Like,
Yeah, well, I'm just saying it's not supposed to be that intense.
Yeah.
Everything's extreme when it comes to the side effects.
Yeah.
So, obviously, I can't go to diarrhea because you just explained that. Mm-hmm. So
It's too bad that gonorrhea is already a thing. Because that'd be a great name for an anti-diarrheal medicine.
Gonorrhea for diarrhea. I think you're onto something, man.
I'm not a doctor. I'm not saying that that's going to work. It would just be a good name.
It would be a good name. I don't know if we should use that but it would be good.
It'd be a good name. That's
Yeah, and I, no disrespect to anybody who's at. Never mind.
Never mind,
So
yeah.
the point is,
I bet you could have both.
you could.
Okay,
It just wouldn't be great.
reel it in. Reel it in.
Let's get back.
Yeah.
Side effects, Sickie Side-Effects. But in all seriousness, the struggle with multiple myeloma patients, I believe. Well, let me say the struggle I have. I'm assuming I'm like most myeloma patients, except for I'm just a different, Anyway, so it's always something.
Mm-hmm.
It's always something. The thing that really, the thing that really gets you in a different type of space is you never can really get used to the norm. It's always something new coming along down the pipe. The beautiful thing is the longer you live, which is wonderful, is also on the negative side, the longer you have been ingesting this toxin.
Right.
And so you have to do a multitude of different things to try to alleviate that. So you start off with just maybe nausea. And that is the worst. Being nauseated along with having constipation,
Right, and no appetite. Like you
and then
gotta throw up, but there's just nothing doing. There's nothing to get up, and
it doesn't make you. You don't want to eat.
no.
Chemo is a son of a biscuit.
Oh, it sucks.
It
It sores on your mouth, and everything tastes like metal.
it's just not a fun thing.
0 out of 5 stars. Would not recommend.
Not recommend. And good thing we didn't say her name because she's right there, or she would have answered us. The point is that it's not easy dealing with the side effects.
Right.
And I'm talking about some of the real tough stuff. There's times where I'm up at 1 o'clock in the morning.
Yeah, insomnia was a thing. Like I remember when I was in it. Like I watched all the Giro d'Italias and the Tour de France's from the '90s on YouTube. Like the whole thing. Like they're both 21-day races each, and I watched all. And those guys were doped to the gills.
Right.
It was really exciting racing, but it was like 3 a.m, and I was just wide awake.
Yeah, I remember having them make. I called it my little cocktail, my night.
You know, nightcap,
Yeah, my nightcap cocktail, which was
horse tranquilizers, and morphine.
that would have been great.
Man,
But it was a sort of a downgrade from there. It was Benadryl and Ativan,
there you go.
and all I can tell you is that made a hell of a combination.
I'll bet.
But it's just, man, sometimes it gets deflating dealing with all the different side effects. On top of whatever kind of medical issues you had prior to the cancer.
Yeah.
I haven't really met. There's a few, but I haven't really met someone who said, "Yeah, before I got this cancer, there was nothing wrong.
Right, I was hunky dory.
I was hunky dory."
Yeah.
But there's always something, and so you compound that with getting older, and then this constantly having to take this chemo, which is so much different than other situations where you might get a procedure like an operation like breast cancer, and I'm not sitting here comparing cancers,
Right.
but what I'm saying is that you're constantly ingesting this poison.
Yeah. And I bet your
slow
body
grind.
continues to find new and exciting ways to react to it.
Yeah.
And like you get like playing whack-a-mole, like you get one symptom, one side effect kind of squared away,
Right.
and then well, damn it, there's another one, and then
That's a great analogy, whack-a-mole.
yeah.
Yeah.
You ever see that movie Disorderlies, like from
Yes.
the '80s?
Yes.
And they threw the guy's pills away, and he felt better. Remember, he was taking the pill for the gas, and the gas gave him a headache, so the pill for the headache, and the headache gave him
Right,
constipation,
right.
gave him that, and then remember,
Fun fact, that was the Fat Boys.
there was the Fat Boys. I can remember. I knew it wasn't Run DMC, and that's what
Yeah.
I was thinking. But no, you're right. It's Fat Boys.
That's why I'm here on the show, to keep you culturally educated.
Thank you, my brother.
With the African American stuff here.
Can I do this?
Fat Boy.
I can't do this.
Don't do that.
Okay, sorry.
Don't do that. Anywho, yeah, the other thing is neuropathy.
Yeah.
You know, neuropathy is a son of a biscuit.
So what is neuropathy? Explain that.
I'm gonna try to do my best version. I'm not gonna get medical.
Right.
I'm gonna try layman terms. It's a disorder that affects your nerves, and it normally causes. It normally starts in your feet, in your hands, tingling, like numbness,
Losing sensation. Your
numbness.
nerves just go on strike.
Yeah, yeah, they go on strike for sure. Even to the point where it can get so severe where it causes intense pain. I know some folks that have neuropathy where they can't walk. Neuropathy. I know a guy that said neuropathy is working its way up, in his lower calf area.
Feel it coming up.
Yeah.
Ugh.
And so I am now in that neuropathy stage. My feet. One cool thing though is, at some point I probably could get a career in walking across fire.
Right.
Hot coals, because I won't be able to feel anything.
That's great. Yeah.
And I could start a whole nother business.
Always finding the silver lining.
I'm always trying to find the silver lining.
Find the good stuff.
I could walk on nails.
You could.
I could walk on a bed of nails.
I'm not sure how much money there is in that.
I don't know. I don't think the insurance company's going to
not
cover
enough.
Not enough.
There might be some, but it's not enough.
Yeah, but the neuropathy sucks, man.
I'll bet it does.
It really does.
I was worried about that when I was sick, because I play guitar, and I was worried about losing the fine motor skills in my fingers.
Yeah, that is always the first thing you worry
Yeah.
about when on neuropathy. Can I play the guitar still?
Yeah, well, I mean, I was worried about it.
No, it's understandable. That's
Yeah.
what you're doing.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not that good, but it's something I like doing.
Yeah, absolutely.
But yeah, thankfully I dodged that bullet.
Yeah, well, in our situation, it's difficult to dodge it.
Right, because you just constantly.
Constantly,
You're like Neo in the Matrix.
But it's something that you have to be really conscious of.
Yeah.
Most nerve damage is irreversible.
Right.
Most side effects from this chemo is irreversible, to be honest with you.
Right.
And it's just, and that's the sad part about it. We just need to start making safer drugs.
Right. Gosh, or just be less sick.
Or less sick.
Just have less cancer.
Less cancer would be great.
Wouldn't that be great?
That would be great. So that's one of the side effects with that. We talked about insomnia. We talked about
Digestive issue.
issue.
Your taste buds get all messed up, and your appetite. You still have hair.
I still have hair, so this is a low dose.
Okay.
So low dosage doesn't make your hair fall out.
That is a tough one.
Yeah.
When the hair
when the hair falls out, I don't know about men, but I know it's extremely
Women
emotional.
are very,
it's
very
very
attached. Yes.
It's and which is understandable.
Yeah, for sure.
But that's another sucky side effect.
Yeah.
Your hair falling out. In my particular case, I didn't even want to wait for it. I just cut my hair off.
As soon as I remember, I was on the phone with my mom, 10 days after my first treatment, and they tell you 10 days after your first treatment when your hair starts to fall out.
Mm-hmm.
And so I phoned with my mom, and said, I feel pretty good, and I don't even think. And I'm running my fingers through my hair. I don't even think my hair's going to fall out. And I looked at my hair. Shit. Never mind.
There it is.
Started pulling it out. So I had my daughter Lydia like, come here, just shave this.
Yes.
And got rid of all of it. The weirdest thing was when you didn't have eyebrows.
Now this is crazy. I did not lose my eyebrows.
Really?
I did not.
Wow.
And the hair I lost first was not on the top of my head.
Uh-oh.
Yeah, it was weird.
Oh yeah, you lost your pubes.
Well, it was public. It was a pee.
Your butt hair.
No, you said it. I was trying. I didn't know you were going to say pubes. Jesus. But the point is that was the first thing that started, losing its luster.
Losing its luster.
I mean, it's just like, just falling off.
Right.
You ever see
shaking
a zombie?
Your shorts out. Like, what the hell?
You ever see one of those zombie movies and they're just attacking and falling? I didn't sound effects, but yeah, it was kind of sort of like that.
All right.
And so once I recognized that, when I was using the bathroom and went to try to take a shower, which was kind of difficult, I was like, better get Mako.
Well, I know.
I don't even think you know what Mako is.
I know what Mako is. Mako's when you paint your car. You had an accident, you got to paint your car.
Very good. But yeah, so that was like the first thing. And
AMCO is their other company, AAMCO. They do the mufflers.
They just
Or
took the M off?
transmissions. Double AMCA.
They just took the M out?
No, it's Mako, MAACO, and AMCO, double AMCO.
Okay,
It's
gotcha.
the same company. They spelled things differently. I think one did transmissions and one did paint.
That's just, yeah.
Anyway, neither of them
Have any-
touched your pubes.
None of them touched the pubes. So I cut everything off.
Yep. Me
Got,
too.
got a little breezy down there. And yeah, so that's
I've kept it off, but that's another conversation.
that's a whole nother conversation. I think that's too much information for the listeners. But the point is the side effects that go along with taking any chemo are not always, or not, none of them are very glamorous at all. Obviously, like I said, we were talking about the hair loss and the effect that it has on you emotionally.
Yeah, what about like your personality? Like, how is that affected by all that?
So the mental aspect of it, that's a side effect. That's a side effect that I don't think people talk about a lot. You know, from a mental standpoint, it's like we were talking about the hair, you know, especially, and maybe it's a guy. I don't know. I've never had really long, flowy hair. Unfortunately, I got different genetics. But
Man, I'd love to see long hair in you, though.
so the point is that, you know, mentally dealing with the mental aspect of dealing with the chemo and the side effect of that is very, you know, it's something that they don't have a pill for.
Yeah.
You know, they you can be doped up and just kind of be not aware.
Right, but that's
that-
not the same thing.
But that's not living.
No.
You know, that's
No.
not a good quality of life.
No.
So we have to deal with that sober,
Yeah.
along with all the other things that's going on, and it's super huge. I think it's important to treat that too as well.
Well, some of the pills do matter. Like, I was on prednisone the first
Did you
bunch
say
around.
pregnant zone?
Prednisone.
I know.
No, pregnant zone is what my house usually was for
For
13
umpteen time.
years. It was the pregnant zone. But no, I was on prednisone, just steroid, and that did, like, legitimately mess with your personality. It messed with your mood. It messed with your temper.
See what I'm,
And I wasn't prepared for that. They said you might be cranky, but I like
that was beyond.
cranky is an understatement of the decade. It's like Houston, we have a problem.
Yeah.
Kind of cranky. Like, I was so bad that I had to go to my parents' house after treatment because I was such a jerk to everyone at home.
Wow, they
Yeah.
kicked you out the house.
They kicked me out, and they tried to make it into like my idea. My sister was there, and she kind of tiptoed in where I was hiding in the bedroom. I was like, "Damn, how about when I leave, I drop you off at Mom and Dad's?" What do you think of that?
We're thinking of that.
And I was like, no,
Why?
I don't want to do that. Like, I don't want to leave Trish here with all the kids. That's not fair to her. And,
Right.
And Allie looks at me and says, no, you're misunderstanding.
Yeah,
This was Trish's idea.
Right.
You're going to New Jersey.
This is not really a question.
Right. The question is, what are you going to pack?
Yeah.
The
It's like,
question isn't whether you're going to go.
yeah, what time are we leaving?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I messaged with you, and there isn't a good way to deal with that.
I don't really.
Because you know what happens when you tell people that are already with a short fuse on prednisone that you're kind of being a dick? They get really angry about it.
Yeah.
It's like telling someone to calm down. Like, it doesn't help.
I have never used a mind-altering drug.
Are you sure?
Well, let's say prescribed
Okay.
mind-altering drug. I just really don't. I don't care for those type of drugs to change. You know, like you said, changing your personality. And I know some folks might, require that, but I'm speaking from a mental health standpoint of really addressing that through some form of therapy, whatever that might be. That could be going to a therapist. That could be going to a support group. That could be listening to the podcast.
Yeah. Whatever you need to do.
Whatever you need to do.
Exercise, go ride a bicycle, ride a motorcycle. Like.
But you got to get that stuff out. You got to talk about it. It's scary.
Yeah, it really is.
And it's okay to be scared. It's okay to not be tough every day.
Yeah.
It's okay to cry. It's okay to ask for help. One of the things that I think is the biggest side effect from this whole cancer thing is it really chisels on your pride, man.
Man, does it.
Some of the misguided prideful things that you might have had, or conveyed to people, or where you carried yourself. And I'm just really big on that mental aspect, because that's something that's going to go the entire duration.
Right.
As long as you're here. But there's another sicky side effect that, chemo. Did you know chemo can affect your sex drive?
Yeah. So, what you mean is that you, of course, wanted to have a lot more sex when you were sick. That's
not what I'm really indicating. What I'm saying is
weird. I sure did.
I'm saying that I did not lose my sex drive, which is why I was
good.
That's why I was stunned when they said it could, and to the point where it could cause some
performance issues.
Yeah,
might need to take a little blue pill.
You might need to, or go see Amico or something.
I don't think that's not the transmission they fix.
I mean, but
yeah,
yeah,
it's your stick shift and all, but that's not what they're going to fix.
But the point is that it's a real side effect to the chemo, and
I bet that's also just a side effect of feeling awful. Like, I didn't feel super sexy. I was doughy. No. I was bald. I was mean. I was tired. Everything tasted bad. I hadn't eaten forever. I hadn't pooped in days. Like, You know what I want to do is get busy. Nope, it was not.
And I can understand that. However,
but that was I had a very short time frame where I was taking chemo.
Right.
Like, you've been on chemo for some time.
Yeah, even when I got the aggressive chemo to get the stem cell. I know people don't like to really say this, but I start to wonder. You ever had this thought? And I hate to use this. You're in a plane, right? And the plane is about to go down. You're sitting next.
I'm so curious where this is going.
Yeah. And you're sitting next to something. I mean, I guess what I'm trying to say is in the heat of the moment.
Do I got time to hit that? Is that what you're asking?
I'm trying to think to myself, like, even though you have cancer, and I'm not saying when you're sitting in the hospital.
Not saying that.
I'm not saying that.
For legal reasons.
For legal reasons. But.
Because Carrie will murder you.
But what I am saying is. Okay, what I am saying is that you still are alive.
Yeah.
Now, maybe not with tubes in you, and not in your what is it? Your neutropenic state when you're at your lowest moment.
Or with a catheter.
Yeah, maybe not so much with that, but those hormones are still.
And sometimes, even when, like, what I found was, even when you're sick like that, it still feels good to be wanted, to be desired.
That's exactly.
And that makes you feel good.
Listen, I don't know about you, but
I feel like you're gonna by the time we're done here.
I'm just saying that during hanky-panky time, nothing hurts. Like, you know what I mean?
Whatever hurts, you forgot about.
Whatever was going on, for that, depending on who you are, 1 minute to however long that is.
I heard that.
This is not the right show.
This is bad. I'm not going to say. I was saying that you burn as many calories having sex as you do running a 5K.
You do burn a lot of calories.
Damn. I have never run a 5K in 87 seconds. That is so fast.
That is very good. It's not about time. It's not about, check this out. It's not about the length of time. It's the quality of time.
That's what everybody says it can't last. Yep.
So, side effects, sicky side effects are not a good thing.
No. But they're there, and pretending they're not, doesn't make them better.
Doesn't make them better. You do need to address them. Obviously, we're trying to put a little humor into it, but, the situation...
Put a little something into it.
The situation is definitely real. And sometimes these side effects have you down.
Yeah.
And it's okay to it's okay to succumb to them, and if your stomach's not feeling so well, do the things that you need to do to try to make it feel better, and that might just be sitting there and trying to wait it out.
Right.
You can't, you constantly can't keep popping pills for everything, and that's what winds up happening. With multiple myeloma patients, it's just one thing after the next, and as you stated earlier. But I don't like Sickie Side-Effects. You don't like Sickie Side-Effects, and all we want to say to Sickie Side-Effects is go somewhere and
Have sex. No, that's not the advice.
And with that being said,
Ding, 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 ding.
that's 2.
That's 2.
We're gonna go to our last segment, which is any last words. Any last words? We've said too much.
We've said so many words. I think our last word should have been several words ago.
Several statements ago.
Yeah.
I'll let you start off. Any last words?
I would say, for last words for today, is that today is it. Start today. Whatever it is that you're thinking about doing, that you want to get done, regardless of the situation, don't let the perfect be the enemy of the good. Right?
Mm-hmm.
Do what you want to do. If you want to get something done, if you want to go someplace, do something, see something, start doing that.
Exactly.
Someone said today to me, the best time to plant a tree is 20 years ago.
Mm.
Right? And the second best time is now.
Right.
Right? So now is what we've got. So, especially in light of all this, like we don't know what's coming, we don't know what side effects we're going to get, we don't know. There's so much that we don't know. Like there's this little slice of stuff that we know, and then there's a very little slice of stuff where we don't know.
Right.
And then there's this vast universe of stuff we don't even know we don't know.
Wow, that's a lot of not
Right?
knowing.
We don't know so much. Mm-hmm. What I do know is I'm here now.
Exactly.
So what can I do now to make this life that I have as close to what I want it to be as it can be? And do that. And do it now. And don't wait for everything to be right. And don't wait for the side effects to go away or for the money to be correct or whatever it is. Like there's always going to be an infinite number of reasons to not do something.
Right.
Right? Don't let that get in the way. Do what you need to do.
Preach
Do
on.
what you want to do. Do it now and do it well. Right? Even if you can do it well, do it badly, but do it enthusiastically.
Give it.
Right? Like
get all after.
Give it your all. Like I'd way rather do something badly that I really wanted to do than not do something that I was scared to do.
I got you.
Like I'd rather use something for its purpose and put it away worn out. Than get something and never use it and let it rot on the shelf.
Yeah, that's deep. That's profound. I don't even know how to come after that. So, last words. Now, for me, I definitely like where you were going with, living for the now. For me, my last words is you have to start thinking about thinking about quality of life, what that looks like for you.
Yep.
And it's important to have a good quality of life. We have cancer.
Yeah.
That part of it, is not changing right now.
Right. But but that's not who you are. Not cancer.
But I am not cancer.
Right.
And so I'll piggyback and double down on what you just said about living for the moment. Every moment is precious. Every single moment. Even if you didn't have cancer, it's unfortunate that this is where we're at. But every moment is important. Savor those moments. Marinate in those moments.
Yeah.
And live. Like you said, don't be afraid to push yourself to a place of happiness. I think her name was, I want to say her name was Songbird. I hope I'm not getting this wrong. And she was on America's Got Talent. Is that what is? I
think that's Simon Cowell, yeah.
Yeah, so she made a statement saying, you don't have to wait for life to get easy to be happy.
Right.
To start being happy.
Yeah.
I really, that's really profound. And I hope I didn't butcher it, but like, it is about perspective. And so what I would say is my last word is, change your perspective on where your life is. Change your perspective on how you see it. You have to search out the silver lining in this situation. Because if you don't, it's a rabbit hole. It's a deep pit that it doesn't end.
Right.
And that's what leads folks into these dark places. You can't control, you can't control the cancer. You can't control the side effects and all these things. You can treat those, and that's what they do. They're treating things. But the thing you can control, the only thing you can control in this world, whether you have cancer or not, is how you react to things. Mm-hmm. So my last word would be, change your perspective. React differently to your circumstances. Find the joy in your life. It's not over. It isn't.
Can I piggyback on that?
Yes, you can.
You're gonna find what you look for. You're going to find what you look for, right? Like, you ever buy a car and then all of a sudden they're all over the place?
Yeah. How about that?
There's no more of them than there were the day you didn't buy that car. We
That's
used to play a game called Yellow Car with the kids.
Right.
And they see a yellow car and then boom, they get to hit the person next to them.
Ours is Punch Buggy.
We still play it. It's fun. But same idea, right? Boy, there's a lot of yellow cars.
Yep.
You know what? There's not.
There's not.
There's no more yellow cars than there was before, but now I'm tuned into looking for them.
Right.
If you want to find reasons to be happy,
tune into them.
Look for them, and you'll find them.
And with that,
let's call it a night.
We say good night.
Good night, everybody. Thank you for tuning in.
Good night, sweetheart.
Well, it's time to go.
Go.
All right.
Good
night, O. Thanks a lot.
Thank you, buddy.
Check us out on all the socials and the Snapchats and the Twitties and the Facebooks and the Instagrams and all that. We're there. Look for the Diamond Podcast. You'll see us.